Anyway, let's talk about the recent unrest in Kosovo. Let's do that. So, for those who do not know, there has been unrest, we can call it, in Kosovo. Unrest among the Serbian population. You know, the average Serb, his name is like what? Milan Genocidovic or something like that. His dad is a war criminal. You know, that's how it is. So Kosovo is supposedly a country, according to some, that is like in between Albania and Serbia. And most people there are Albanians. Some people there, a lower percentage, but still a not insignificant minority, are Serbians. And if you don't know, there was like a whole bunch of wars and stuff fought over it in the 90s. And then NATO created a fake genocide happening there in order to justify them intervening. And that's basically how it goes. And then Kosovo was basically, like, administration of it was handed over to the Albanian majority there. And it's like a de facto sort of independent, like at least independently governed region right now that is disputed by Serbia, who believes that Kosovo is Serbia. I'm not sure if Albania like officially considers Kosovo to be Albania. However, for most or almost all Kosovo Albanians, Kosovo isn't really a thing for them. They consider themselves to be Albanian. They consider Kosovo to just be like its current status to be just a temporary thing before they join Albania, which I never really see anyone talk about for some reason. Probably because it's inconvenient to this idea that Kosovo is anything but like a sort of Kosovo being, obviously Kosovo as a region exists, but Kosovo as an independent country is anything but an imposition of the Western imperialist powers just because it was convenient to them. So basically, for most Kosovo Albanians who are the dominant majority there politically in every way, shape or form, Kosovo is little more than a temporary like country of convenience for them until they eventually join Albania. But apart from that, so the recent unrest has been happening in Serbian majority municipalities. Most of them are in the north, one or two are in the south though. Because back in 2013, there was an agreement between Serbia and Kosovo which stipulated that Serbian majority municipalities would have like some level of autonomy. For example, like the police chief has to be a Serbian, shit like that. And the thing is, Kosovo never actually implemented the agreement at all. And this was in exchange for, it's like a real weird mental gymnastics sort of thing that the Serbians do, where they acknowledge the Kosovo government as the legitimate regional government of Kosovo, but they don't acknowledge it as an independent state. So the agreement was they would do that, and in exchange, the Kosovo Albanian majority who controlled the country's politics would give the Serbian municipalities like autonomy. And since then, Kosovo has like completely failed at implementing really anything about that agreement. And basically the Serbian minorities are pissed about that. And this causes problems. It causes like otherwise seemingly small issues. Like the most recent thing was that the central government in Kosovo was trying to get Serbian minorities to change from their Serbian number plates to Kosovo number plates, and they didn't want to do it. So there was like protests and shit about that, and they ended up boycotting the local elections because of that. But those things, those are like they're the sparks that light the fire. They're not the real reason. The real reason is like the failure to properly implement the 2013 agreement between Serbia and Kosovo. And I mean, this is pretty obvious. You can see it. Even the US is pissed off and implementing some very minor, though like indicative of their opinion, sanctions on Kosovo. At least in terms of coming to that agreement and then not implementing it. Kosovo is clearly in the wrong. And like the Serbians who were protesting, because what happened is there was like local elections. The Serbians boycotted the elections, and like the 5 Kosovo Albanians who live in the Serbian municipalities got to vote for like, I don't know, like their next door neighbor to be the mayor because none of the Serbs voted. And the Kosovo central government is trying to install those mayors, even though they won like 2% of the vote. And that's pissing off the Serbians who think the elections just shouldn't happen at all. It's a clusterfuck. I mean, it's like anything that the US has ever had a hand in, it's a clusterfuck. But clearly at least in this limited instance, the Kosovo central government is in the wrong. Something that I found interesting about this is that NATO sent fucking troops to police the protesting Serbs in these Serbian majority municipalities, which is fucking insane. Like, they sent NATO troops against Serbians. Like, I don't know, Serbians don't really like NATO very much. Like, that's like an optical massive L if you want anything to go well for you, to send like NATO troops to do police work against like Serbian civilians. That's a really bad fucking idea. And NATO had the gall to complain when, you know, they were riot cops. Basically, these NATO troops were just acting as riot cops. When they ended up having like clashes with the protesters, and some of the NATO cops got hurt. And they're like, this is unacceptable. They can't believe that our brave NATO boys in blue got hurt. Well, why did you send them against like civilian protesters then? What's going on there? That might have been, it might have been a bad idea for you to do that. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. I think that's probably the better idea there. But yeah, Kosovo is a shitty situation. I think in the short term, the best thing for everyone is for the Kosovo central government to just stop being a bunch of morons and do the thing they agreed to do for the Serbian municipalities and keep the status quo. And don't fucking know, because, anything's better than another Balkans conflict. Anything's better than that. It's really funny to me watching people that don't really know what the fuck's going on, like Vorsh make videos about this, and they just take the Kosovo side because it's the NATO side. Like, at least they think it's the NATO side. Even the US is pissed off that their client state isn't doing what they want in this case, because obviously it looks very bad for them to have unrest in their client state. Like, they want there to be this image of Serbians and Albanians living in harmony in Kosovo to legitimize the idea of Kosovo as an independent state. So it's not good for them to have Serbians being angry there. That's why they're pissed off at Kosovo. Anyway, so that's my explanation of this. I provided no evidence for it. If you want to believe me, well, that's your prerogative. I don't give a shit. I'm a lazy bastard.